Today we are going to learn about the interference in thin films. This question may be asked in 5-mark question. Listen here. Here I have drawn a diagram, ray diagram. This is purely based on the thin films. Already I have told about that the interference that takes place whenever sunlight falls on the surface of the soap bubble. So here the soap bubble layer is drawn here. This portion, that small d, that represents the soap bubble layer. That soap bubble layer, it is made up of water. Water is the denser medium. Just above the soap bubble, air medium is there. Okay, that is taken as rarer medium. So this is a soap bubble. That soap bubble that is formed on the surface of the water. So in between the water surface and the soap bubble, vacuum is there. That vacuum that should be treated as rarer medium. Air medium, water layer, soap bubble medium, and then vacuum. So three mediums are here. So here the thickness of the soap bubble, thickness of the thin film, that must be taken as small d. Are you clear? So the denser medium, soap bubble, it is purely, that is made up of water layer. So the refractive index of the medium is, thin film is mu. So the refractive index value is very important. Here we are going to learn how the interference takes place in the case of thin films. Let us imagine the light beam from the external source. That incident light, it is made to incident on the surface of the upper layer of the thin film. So it is incident exactly at A. After incidence at A, that incident light is split into two rays, reflected ray and refracted ray. So here, with respect to the normal, that incident ray that makes an angle of I. Usually the I value should be taken as approximately 0. I value should be taken as approximately 0. Here, after getting reflection and refraction, again at B, the refracted ray again it gets reflected and refracted. Okay, so here this is the ray that gets reflected within the layer, within the thin film layer. Another ray it gets refracted. So this ray to be taken as transmitted light. This one is called as the refracted part of the ray can be taken as, what is this? Transmitted light. Again, the ray after getting reflection from the rarer medium, this ray, that particular ray which gets reflected from the point B, actually it is getting reflected from the which medium? Rarer medium. So the ray it gets reflected, again multiple reflection takes place. At C, again the ray it gets refracted and reflected. Are you clear? So the ray which is refracted, no? So here this ray that is traveling along with this ray. Therefore, the ray number 1, this one can be taken as ray number 1, this ray can be taken as ray number 2. Here these two rays, they act as coherent source. They act as coherent source, they will interfere with one another. So these parts, the rays which are traveling in this direction, they are traveling in the which medium? Rarer medium, no? They are all called as reflected part lights. So these two rays, they will interfere with one another and they will form interference pattern. After getting reflected here, at D again, the ray gets refracted and reflected. Okay, again the ray D, at D, it gets refracted. Now here these two rays, the third ray, this one can be taken as a third ray and this one can be taken as fourth ray. Are you clear? The third and fourth ray, they are all traveling within the vacuum, and these two rays, they can be taken as the refracted part, as well as we can call it as transmitted part, transmitted light. These two transmitted lights, they will interfere with one another and they will form the interference pattern that can be observed. The interference pattern that can be observed if you are within the bubble. These two rays, they will interfere with one another and they will form the interference pattern that can be observed if you are standing, if you are being just outside the bubble, soap bubble. From the surface of the bubble, you are able to So clear, observe the interference pattern which are created on the surface of the bubble. So these are all the interference pattern which are seen just outside the bubble. These are all the interference pattern that could be seen if you are within the bubble. But in naturally in day-to-day conditions, we are able to observe the interference pattern, colored patterns only if you are standing just outside the bubble. Only from the surface of the bubble alone, is it clear, we are able to observe the interference pattern. So the interference pattern which are created on the surface of the bubble alone can be observed in day-to-day phenomena. But being inside the soap bubble, it is not possible. You are not able to observe any interference pattern from the within the bubble. So these are all the transmitted light, these are all the reflected part. Are you clear? So this is the explanation about which one, the interference which are created in the case of thin flames. There are two parts: interference created due to the reflected part of the light, interference which are created due to the transmitted part of the light. So we have to see two conditions, we have to see two different cases. Here the thing is, first we'll concentrate on the transmitted lights. Transmitted light means these two, third and fourth rays, they will interfere with one another. Because of interference pattern will be created. So I am going to write the case 1. In the case of case 1, we are going to see the interference which are created due to which light? Transmitted light. Okay, now first we have to find out the condition for constructive interference as well as for condition for destructive interference. First we have to find out the path difference. How will you find the path difference? Now we will calculate the what is the path difference between these two rays. Look at that. Here this is a ray which travels, as clear, from A and travels in this direction, that is passing through the, that is traveling through the denser medium, and that one becomes a third ray. This one becomes a third ray. These two are going to interfere, these two are going to act as a coherent source. What will be the path difference between third and fourth ray? Look at that. The ray, it travels in this direction, it travels almost d distance. This ray, after getting reflection, after getting refraction, it becomes third ray. After that, this ray travels d distance. Again the same ray, it gets reflected, again it travels d distance. So approximately this distance can be taken as 2d. Are you clear? This one can be taken as 2d. Since it is traveling within the denser medium with the refractive index of mu, the total path difference can be taken as, the path difference between third and fourth ray is how much? 2d mu. That is, the fourth ray, it travels the extra distance of 2 mu d. So this ray that travels and gets refracted here itself. To combine the fourth ray with the third ray, the fourth ray, it has to travel the extra distance of how much? 2d mu. Since it is traveling within the denser medium, one mu must be multiplied. So d plus d, apart from this mu must be multiplied. So that is the path difference between fourth ray and third ray. So path difference is found out. Now we have to find out the condition for constructive interference. Constructive means to observe the bright fringes. We need the condition for constructive interference. Already in Young's double slit experiment, we have learnt about the condition for constructive interference. Path difference must be equal to n lambda. Are you clear? That is a condition for constructive interference. So what is the path difference here? 2 mu d is equal to n lambda is the condition for constructive interference, where n must be taken as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. Like this we can write. So we have found out, we have learnt the condition for constructive interference. Are you clear? Next we are going to learn the condition for destructive interference. The meaning is, if the in between the distance, in between BC and CD, BC and CD is equal to how much? 2D mu. This is equal to which one? BC into CD. That BC, that is to be added with the CD, and the distance is 2D. Along with this, that mu must be multiplied. So within this distance, exactly either 0 lambda must be, either 1 lambda must be, or 2 lambda, or 3 lambda. So if this much amount of path difference is existing between these two waves, by the time which kind of fringes will be created? Bright fringes will be created. So, okay, so these bright fringes are otherwise called as, they are cast due to exactly the interference, that is due to constructive interference. Are you clear? Next we are going to learn about the condition for destructive interference. Destructive interference. Same formula, path difference must be equal to, here the condition is different. Okay, path difference value must be equal to 2n minus 1 lambda by 2. The same condition was used even in the case of Young's double slit experiment to observe the destructive interference. In the case of destructive interference, dark fringes will be observed. Okay, so here to start with, n should not be taken as 0. Instead of n, we have to substitute 1, 2, 3, 4, like that we have to substitute. Don't start from 0. Okay, for 2n minus 1 lambda by 2, with the path difference between these two rays is equal to 2n minus 1 lambda by 2. By that time, dark fringes can be observed. Substitute 1 here. If 1 is substituted, that one becomes lambda by 2. The meaning is, in between these two rays, third and fourth rays, within this distance, if lambda by 2 is the wavelength, means the first dark fringe can be observed. If you substitute 2 here, that one becomes 3 lambda by 2. So in between the third ray and fourth ray, if the interference occurs, if the path difference is 3 lambda by 2, means second dark fringe can be observed. So like that we can list out the condition for all the bright fringes and dark fringes. To observe the first bright fringe, 0 must be substituted. To observe the second bright fringe, 1 must be substituted. Like that, depends on the number what you assign, you are able to get the path difference between these two rays. According to that, you are able to observe the fringes. So these are all the phenomena, these are all the things which are related with the transmitted light. Among them, the interference takes place. Okay. Now we are going to see how the interference electron takes place among the rays which are getting reflected from the surface. That's why I have written the next case as far reflected light. Here we are going to concentrate only on the reflected part. Here ray number 1 and 2, both of them, they will act as coherent sources and they will interfere among themselves, they will superpose with among themselves. So because of that, the interference will be taking place and they are capable of creating the bright and dark fringes that you can observe from here. Now I am going to tell one important thing, that look at the first ray alone, concentrate the first ray alone. You just where it gets reflected. It gets reflected from the denser medium, optically denser medium. So very important one, the ray number 1, after incident at A, it gets reflected from the optically denser medium. The ray 1 is very important, since it gets reflected from the optically denser medium, it creates the extra path difference. Make a note, it creates the extra path difference. Okay, it creates the extra path difference of lambda by 2. If the same thing, if it is told in the form of phase difference, we have to call it as extra phase difference. Extra phase difference. If extra path difference is lambda by 2, means the extra phase difference must be taken as pi. This one is created by the ray number 1. Okay, ray number 1, it creates the additional path difference of lambda by 2 or additional phase difference of pi. Why? Because the ray number 1 gets reflected from the optically denser medium. This question may be often asked in the exam. Optically denser medium. If any ray, if it gets reflected from the optically denser medium, that one will create the extra path difference lambda by 2. Are you clear? Now, to calculate the path difference, already we have learned that clear 2 mu d. Look at that, in between ray number 1 and 2, what is the path difference, real path difference? AB plus BC. Okay, the second ray, it travels the extra distance of AB and BC. Before interfering, this ray, it has to travel the extra distance. How much distance? AB plus BC. That extra distance is travel, no? That extra distance is how much? 2 mu d is the extra distance traveled by the ray number 2. Apart from this, here the ray number 1, it creates the extra path difference of lambda by 2. This is newly introduced one. Therefore, I have to add one lambda by 2 here. So, this is the real path difference between ray number 1 and 2. Now, we have to learn the condition for which one? Condition for constructive interference. Constructive interference. So what will be the condition for constructive interference? Here the path difference must be equal to N lambda. Already you have learnt. Path difference must be equal to N lambda. Here the path difference value is altered. It is not like as seen in the case of Young's double slit experiment. Here the real path difference is how much? 2 mu d plus lambda by 2, which is equal to N lambda. If it is written in another form, how the equation changes? Look at that. 2 mu d is equal to N lambda here the real path difference is 2 mu d plus lambda by 2. How to get the condition for constructive interference? Path difference should be equal to how much? N lambda. Okay, path difference must be equal to N lambda. Okay, this is the real equation already we have used in the case of Young's double slit experiment. But the real path difference is how much? 2 mu d plus lambda by 2. That should be equated with N lambda. So after altering, what will happen? 2 mu d can be written. This lambda by 2, that can be written on the other side. So what will happen? Minus lambda by 2 can be written. So 2 mu d is equal to, this one can be simplified as 2n minus 1 lambda by 2. Now this is the condition for constructive interference. Make a note. In the case of Young's double slit experiment, if the path difference is 2n minus 1 lambda by 2, there you can observe the destructive interference. But in the case of thin flames, the condition is reversed. For constructive interference, this is the condition, where n must be equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. The path difference condition that will vary. If you substitute 1, you will get the first dark fringe. If you substitute 2, you will get 3 lambda by 2. That is the path difference between ray number 1 and 2. So it depends on the path difference, you are able to observe the fringes. Are you clear? Now I am going to write the condition for destructive interference. Okay. Now usually we use the equation 2 mu d. Apart from this, the first ray creates the additional path difference of lambda by 2. Add it. Now usually what is the condition for destructive interference? If the path difference is equal to 2n minus 1 lambda by 2, no, For mathematical convenience, we are writing 2n plus 1 lambda by 2. So like that we can write. If you use 2n plus 1 lambda by 2, don't start from 1. It should be started from 0. Make a note. Okay, this is very important. So if you use that 2n plus 1 lambda by 2 for destructive interference, don't start from 1. It should be started from 0, 1, 2 and so on. Like that we can write. Now we can interchange the equations and look at that. 2 mu d plus lambda by 2, which is equal to multiply 2n lambda by 2 plus lambda by 2 can be written. This lambda by 2 can be cancelled, 2 can be cancelled. So finally you are getting 2 mu d is equal to n lambda. So finally the thing is, if the path difference is equal to, the path difference means 2 mu d is equal to n lambda, means we are able to observe the which kind of fringes. Dark fringes can be observed. Dark fringes can be observed. That one is because of destructive interference between the rays 1 and 2. If n is equal to 0 means substitute 0 here. If though there is no path difference means after interference they will create the which kind of fringe? First dark fringe will be created. If 1 is substituted instead of n, you will get 1 lambda. If 2 mu d is equal to 1 lambda means, 2 mu d is equal to 1 lambda means the path difference between 1 and 2 must be equal to 1 lambda. Then the second dark fringe you will observe. So like that it goes on. Are you clear? So these are all the conditions for destructive interference in the case of reflected light. Already I derived the expression for the condition for the constructive interference. Are you clear? But actually we are assuming that I is equivalent to almost equal to 0. In the beginning of the discussion itself I told that I is assumed that it should be approximately taken as 0. But it won't be. Definitely some I value will be there. Depends on the I value, the R value also will change. So if you start deriving the path difference between these two rays or these two rays, you will get this expression. That is approximately taken as 2 mu d. Are you clear? If I is 0 means R also will be 0. If 0 is substituted, what will happen? Cos 0, that one becomes 1. So approximately the path difference is assumed that 2 mu d. Make a note. So just for reducing the steps, basically we are writing 2 mu d instead of 2 mu d cos r. Make a note. Here, since we are using polychromatic light, sunlight or any other white lights are used as a source, so clear, after interference you are able to observe the colored pattern, colored interference patterns. Okay, so if your eye is here, if your eye view is here, we are able to observe the colored pattern, that is from the outside the bubble. If your eye view is here, okay, we are able to observe the interference pattern, that is due to transmitted light, provided you should be within the bubble. This is not at all possible, but we are able to observe the interference pattern from outside. Make a note. Any doubt in this? So here this one may be asked in 5 mark. Understood? So if you change the position of the eye view, automatically the color which appear on your eye, that one also will vary. Are you clear? The color depends on the color what you observe, that depends on the thickness of the means the thickness of the film, that depends on the thickness of the thin film, that depends on the refractive index of the denser medium, and also it depends on the angle of incidence. If angle of incidence changes, the color what you observe will change. If the refractive index changes, the color what you observe will change. If the thickness changes, the color what you observe also changes. So the color what you observe, that depends on the d, mu and I. Okay.